Hi guys, so my geek glasses are back on once again, and sorry if you can't see the reflection of the window. Nothing much I can do. Geek glasses are a thing for my book related videos. So as you can tell from the title, it's going to be a book haul. I have a stack of gorgeous books that I'm gonna share with you guys now because I'm a little bit of a bookworm, also an English literature major. Well, not anymore. So yeah, I've been reading lots of books recently. Because I'm not at uni anymore, I have way more time to read the books that I want to read, that I can choose by myself, that aren't required for me to read. So the first book I got is not really like a reading book, it's just a tiny, beautiful, inspirational book that I saw in Tanya Burr's favorites video. She talked about this book and that's how I learned about it. It's a beautiful pink cloth bound edition. By the way, I've ordered all of those books on bookdepository.com. It's my favorite book website to browse on and to purchase books because the shipping is free and it doesn't take that long, and I don't know, you always get bookmarks with the books and it's just like, I love this website to bits. So yeah, this one is called Never Have a Bad Day Ever Again by Max Vigram and Murray Partridge. So on the first page it says, "It's now official, reports have finally started to prove what we all knew all along, that it's the little things in life that makes us happy." This book lists nearly 100 of those little things. So I'm gonna give you an example. So one of the pages says, "Thinking about past shags." And it has almost 100 of those like little things that make us happy. I feel like they should have been more specific and found something more interesting and less cliche. So I'm not sure if I love this book. It's an okay book. It's quite lovely to have as a little bit of an inspiration, but yeah, anyway. Moving on, I got this extremely beautiful edition of Romeo and Juliet by Shakespeare, whom I love. I had a Shakespeare class in uni, and it was probably one of my favorite classes I had in my uni. I just love studying Shakespeare and reading his books and performing his plays. I mentioned that in some of my previous videos, that we had to group up and our group had to play the Merchant of Venice, and I was the Prince of Morocco, and it was so funny. I had to like use dark makeup to turn myself into a Moroccan man. I drew beard on myself and basically had to play the Merchant of Venice, and it was so much fun, and I really miss my Shakespeare class and the best professor in the history, JD, whom I'll miss because his classes were incredible. So he just sparked love for Shakespeare in us, well, at least in me. So yeah, this is the book I got, and it has silver edges. It's just like so stunning to have in your collection. It's from the Barnes & Noble leather-bound classics edition, and I just love these leather-bound books because they do all the classics, so they're amazing to have in your library. Because if you want to have a book that you're just gonna read and give away to someone, you can obviously buy a cheap edition that you know you won't care about, but if you want to have these books in your home library, I think it's worth investing a little bit more in getting these gorgeous leather-bound books. Okay, another classic I got is by Jane Austen, who's my other favorite author, and I have her Persuasion in this leather-bound edition. I would love to have all Jane Austen's books in this edition, but unfortunately you can purchase only Pride and Prejudice, Sense and Sensibility, and Persuasion in the leather-bound edition. I don't know why. So the ones that I cannot get in a gorgeous edition, I'm gonna get in this one, which is also very beautiful edition. It's the Vintage Classics, and this is what the rest of the books look like. So I'm yet to get Northanger Abbey and Emma. These are the other two that I want to have in this edition, and this one is so thick. It's a huge book. It's how many pages? 560 pages, so it will take a little while for me to get through this, but I always wanted to read Mansfield Park. And here at the back it says, "A large income is the best recipe for happiness I ever heard of. Money may not buy happiness, but it can buy a lot of the things that equal happiness." Okay, the other book, look at this one. How stunning is the cover. So I don't know much about this book, but if you want I can read the back of it. It says, "The villagers of Brunton are awaiting a sign as they haul a stinking creature from the nets. New priest Father Thomas thinks it's finally come. In the hands of his young housekeeper Anne, this creature is revealed as just a girl, but in the mind of Father Thomas she's to be so much more. and he will stake all but his own life on that as the plague rages towards Brunton and its people turn to Thomas to save them. And I love that you have a little map of the location, Brunton, in 1349, and I love that it's set in those times because I love Middle Ages. I'm fascinated by like period dramas, books set in Middle Ages, and just like, you know, books about old times. So I think this one is gonna be really mysterious and kind of a twisted book. Another one I have is a bestseller called Boreal Rites by Hannah Kent. I'm sure that a lot of you have heard about it already. The cover is beautiful and it's matte as well. This book is actually set in northern Iceland in 1829. So this is basically a book about a woman who's condemned to death for murdering her lover. And here it says a family is forced to take her in, a priest tasked with absolving her, but all is not as it seems and time is running out. Winter is coming. Reminds me of Game of Thrones. And with it, the execution date. So it's gonna be like one of those very suspenseful thriller books. Gripping, remarkable, a must-read, exceptional. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. Another book I got is by Mark Forsyth, best-selling author of the Etymologicon and the Horologicon. I believe the most famous of his books is the Etymologicon, but I got the Elements of Eloquence, How to Turn the Perfect English Phrase. And I don't know, I just was really intrigued by this book. I've always wanted to speak English beautifully. I use a lot of cliche words and sayings. I use like a lot, I use basically a lot. My vocabulary isn't very rich, I'm not very eloquent, at least not as much as I would love to be, and I really hope that this book will help me out, and I'm always interested in improving my English. You guys know that besides makeup, I'm also extremely interested in perfume. Reading about perfumes is like my escape world. I love reading about the different notes and how the perfumes are made, and just everything about perfumes fascinates me so much. And anything related to perfume, any book or like article or something, I want to read. It's called The Perfume Lover by Denise Bouleux, which is another gorgeous cover. When I read the description, I thought, oh my god, it's gonna be such a dreamy book, like something that I would love to have written myself. I'm gonna read the back. It says, for Denise Bouleux, a writer living in Paris, perfume is her world, her love, her life. At a chance meeting with an esteemed French perfumer, she shares her story of a sensual night spent in Seville under a blossoming orange tree in the arms of a beautiful young man. So basically what she tries to do with this perfumer is she tries to recreate the scent of that night under a blossoming orange tree in Seville, and I think that's just, it just sounds so interesting to me how they're gonna try and recreate the scent of that night. And yeah, it might be a really beautiful thing to read. Okay, another book I got is also by Barnes & Noble, leather-bound edition, and it smells of leather. And how gorgeous is this book? So as you can tell, it's Dracula by Bram Stoker, which I've always wanted to read. It says, listen to them, the children of the night, what music they make. Yeah, like, look how gorgeous is this book. Book Depository always includes little bookmarks. I'm gonna show you some other ones. This one, I got one that I really love, this one. So anyways, I'm excited to read Dracula. You probably have all heard about it. It's about Dracula, which is kind of a romantic story as well. And the last book I got is actually not for reading, it's a recipe book, and this one is in Lithuanian. It's called Turkijos virtuvė, which means Turkish cuisine. From her name I can tell that it's by a Lithuanian lady who married a Turk. She's called Jolita Koruklu, and I love Turkish cuisine. Everything is just like, when I look at the pictures, my mouth is watering. Look at this. Oh my god, like Turkish food is one of the best foods in the world, and yeah, I cannot wait to start experimenting with these meals and cannot wait to make something. Oh my gosh, like how healthy and tasty does everything look. Yum. These are all of the books I got. I hope you enjoyed this haul and talk to you soon. Bye!